I'm Vanessa, and I am a artist and a pastor and a wife and a mom. And I am pretty new to the tour, but along the way I've gotten a chance to take my son, who's here on the tour as well. I got to take him to the little Bible college where his grandparents met, where his parents met. Got to show him around that place where I had a lot of fun. And you know, it was one of those Bible colleges where you couldn't smoke and you couldn't drink and you couldn't dance and you couldn't go to movies and you couldn't play cards. And it seems crazy to say I had any fun, but I did. You got to understand where I came from. You see, my parents sent me to a little private Christian school from the time I was in kindergarten until I graduated. That was all the education I knew. They wanted to give us something better. They were trying their best, and they didn't know. They didn't know that that place was kind of a dark place. You see, when I was a little girl, the age of my own little girl, who's 6 years old, I was walking through the hallways of that school, and we were on our way to the drinking fountain, and I was curious, and I reached up and I touched that little crinkly edge around a bulletin board. And my teacher took me by the shoulder, marched me around the corner, put me in a dark room and closed the door and left me there. And it didn't get much better as time went on. There were rules all the time. New rules, new executive orders all the time. And you were being watched all the time. You were being measured when you walked in the door to see if you were holy enough, if you were good enough, if your skirt was long enough. So maybe you can understand why Bible college was a little more fun for me. I was actually there. I was there at that little Bible college 4 years ago, right around this time for our 20th class reunion. I was there with my husband and my oldest child, and we had gone and done that awkward conversation thing you do with the people that you went to college with. And then we went back to the hotel, and we were tired, and we turned on the news. And the news that night was the Access Hollywood tape. You remember the Access Hollywood tape. You remember how Trump bragged about what he could do, how he could reach out and grab a woman and do whatever he wanted to her body without her permission, that she didn't matter, she wasn't a person to him, she was just a thing that he could take and consume. And I remember thinking, based on all those places I had been and all those rules that they had had for me and my body and what I was allowed to do, that those people would make sure that he wasn't elected. And I thought, good, it's over. And you know that it wasn't. And so that day after the election, my friends all came to my house and we felt like it was a funeral. And we all started to get involved. And I didn't know what to do because I was raised Republican. That was my team. That we had a deal, right? I was supposed to be a good girl and they were supposed to protect me. That was the way that it was supposed to work, and my team betrayed me. But I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where I belonged. So about a year ago, August 3rd, I remember the day very clearly. All my kids were home, all four. My 2 college kids were home, and then my high schooler, and then my little bitty 6-year-old, surprise. Yeah, so we're all home, and we decided to go out back to school shopping at Walmart, like you do. We live in Arkansas. We packed up the little mom minivan, that ugly, ugly thing. Held up my phone. Come on, everybody, lean in. Let's take a picture. Do we have to? Yes, come on. So I snapped that photo, and I brought it down, and I was going to post it on Instagram, and instead I saw breaking news. There had been another shooting. Another shooting. This one was in El Paso. As the news about that shooting, as the details became clear, I was haunted by those details. I could not stop thinking about it. I could not get it out of my head. You see, first we heard that the shooter, to honor his dark Lord and Savior, Donald Trump, had laid out his guns to spell Trump's name, to impress him. And then we heard from eyewitnesses that as that shooter went through the store, pointing his gun, that he would save his bullets, pass over the white people, and save his ammunition for brown bodies. And that's what broke me. Because my third child, my Charlie, my beautiful Latina, is adopted. She has straight black hair and big chocolate brown eyes, and she sings like an angel, and she's the glue that holds our family together. She's everybody's favorite person. And to think that if we had been in El Paso shopping at Walmart, instead of in Arkansas shopping at Walmart, that shooter would have passed over me and the other kids and would have chosen to shoot Charlie, the best person I know. And I could not understand what had happened to my country. And I was so frustrated and angry and confused that I got on a plane and I flew to El Paso because I needed to see what was happening there with my own eyes. And I went there and I saw that long memorial. It goes on the length of a football field of people's grief and their remembrances and the people that were still gathering there to weep. And I saw the border wall, that hideous, ugly, rusty structure. In New York City, where my son goes to college, they have Lady Liberty, but on that border we have this nasty looking wall. What is that? And then we went to a detention center where Homeland Security is protecting us by separating little children from their mummies and daddies. And Sanchez reminded me of a struggle that I had where I said to God, nobody's going to listen to me. Nobody's going to listen to me. What can I do? Nobody's going to listen to me. And you know what God said to me? You haven't said anything yet. See, I began to realize I know what it feels like to be a little kid in a dark place with nobody to protect you. I know what that feels like. And I need to put myself on the line for my brown daughter. I need to put my body on the line for her. Because that school where I went, that school, we talk about Donald Trump being a monster, but that school had a monster too. You see, his place was right at the bottom of the stairs in a corner where you walk down the stairs and come around to your classroom and nobody could see it. And that monster preyed on the little girls that would pass by. He took whatever he wanted without their permission. He didn't respect their personhood. He could do whatever he wanted. He could move on them. He could touch or grab whatever he wanted. And the news came out. And those men that ran that school, those good religious voters, when they found out, they gave him a love offering and they sent him on his way. I know that evil exists. I know that evil exists. But there's a special kind of evil when you know that something is happening and you don't do something. You see, back then, we needed a pastor, we needed a priest, we needed a protector. And now we need a president. We need a peacemaker. We're in a pandemic, and we have this piece of work. So I am asking religious voters, please do not give this man the love offering of your vote. I want kids to be safe. I want my kids to be safe. I want other kids to be safe. I want it to be safe for babies to be born. You can't make it safe for babies when you make it more unsafe for women. I am a mother. I am a spiritual mother. I'm an adoptive mother. I'm a biological mother. And I am asking, vote like a mother.